This is a very quick video showing you how to use Geogebra to draw geometric shapes. Now you want to go to geogebra.org/geometry, and you can sign up for a free account as well if you want to save your designs. So what you'll find when you open Geogebra, it probably looks like this. You'll have the really basic small palette, so click on more so you get more of the options. And I like to put in a grid too by clicking on the little cog and saying show grid, clicking on major and minor grid lines so you can snap things to the grid. So very quickly going to show you how this works. First thing is that you can draw points with GeoGebra. It's literally just clicking around the space. You can draw line segments by clicking once, clicking twice, or you can even draw lines through 2 points, just like that. If you want to delete objects in GeoGebra, you can either click on them individually and select the little bin, or you can use the little selection tool. You can select a bunch of things to delete. So that one there. I'm also going to show you how to create polygons and circles. First thing I'll do is a circle. So this is a circle with a center point and a point on the outside of the circle. Click and drag your circle out, and then wherever you let go is where the little point will be on the circle. If you use the white arrow, you can actually move this point around the circle. You can move the circle in and out, and if you click on the center point, you can drag it as well and pivot around that point. So this way you're sort of pivoting around the center, this way you're pivoting around the other point. You can color your shapes in, so click on the shape and the little paint bucket. If you have this slider all the way to the left, this will just be an outline. It's like a red outline. If I had my slider all the way to the right, they'll actually fill the shape in. And you can press the little plus as well, and you can pick other colors you might like to use instead. Shut that one. So that's creating circles. Creating polygons is very simple as well. It's just clicking. 1, 2, 3. I want to make a triangle, so I'm going to click back on my first point, and there's a little triangle. The great thing about using a grid is that when you use this grid, you'll actually get the points snapping to the grid too, which makes it easy to make nice shapes like a rectangle, or you can click anywhere you want and make crazy shapes like that. You can also easily find out things like the area within a shape by clicking on measure and area. And you can find things like the distance on each side by simply clicking, this is all in centimetres or centimetres cubed, by clicking on the distance. I can see here the area of this rectangle is 8, and that's because it's 2 by 4 centimetres, so that makes sense. You can find an angle as well by selecting 3 points. So if I click on angle in measure, click, 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 it tells me it's a 90-degree angle in there. I might be interested in this angle. It should be a bigger angle. Whoop. There we go, 114, and we could figure out the opposite too by subtracting that from 360. So it's really handy for finding things like angles, lengths, and areas. The other things that you might be interested in using this for is things like midpoints. So you can click on construct and midpoint, click on the 2 endpoints of the line you want to find the midpoint on, and it will put that there for you. And it's a great thing to just experiment with these. There's so many things. I probably won't show you all of the things here, but perpendicular lines and bisectors, just play with them. There's so many options. The last thing I want to show you is using the polygon tools. I've already shown you how to draw just irregular polygons, but regular polygons are very easy as well. So we're going to click once and click again. This is the side length. Now regular polygons have all sides the same length, so all the program needs to know is how long that first side is. It will make all the other sides the same length. So I want to make a pentagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, so I tell it to have 5 corners or vertices and press go, and it automatically makes my little pentagon using that original side length that I had. You'll see some of these points are grey and some are blue. If you click on the grey points, not much happens, they're sort of fixed. But if you click on the blue points, you can spin around this particular point, or you can also resize. Click in the middle of the shape and you can use that to move it around. And remember, you can very easily duplicate these shapes and move them around as well. Last thing I'll show you is how you can rotate a shape around a point and add text or images. So if you go down to media, you can add an image into your pattern by just selecting browse and finding that image on your desktop, or you can click on text and click anywhere and you'll come up with your little text box. So you might like to label triangle. Press OK. Now if you click your white mouse cursor, you can drag that label anywhere you want, maybe over to triangle, and clicking on it you can change the size. You might like to make it large, you might like to change it to blue text and maybe the background to be orange, anything like that. And again, if you don't like that, you can delete it. And the last thing is showing you how to rotate around a point. So if we click on Point in Basic Tools, and I'll just click here next to my pentagon, I'm going to click on Transform and Rotate around a point. Click on the pentagon and then the point, and then tell it how far to rotate that shape. So 45 degrees, let's go clockwise. So you can see that the shape has now been rotated around that point. And what you should do at the end of that too is either save or export your image or take a screenshot of it so you don't lose it.